All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is um, another episode of Home Care Owners Corner, where this is our Q&A that we go over. We try to do it every week. We don't always succeed, but we take in questions from either our Facebook group or people that directly message us or email us or some of our clients, and we try to give you um, the answers that you're, to help you run your business and help you get your home care agency running properly. All right, so thank you for being here. And if you are watching us live in our Facebook group, don't forget to invite people and have them come along and join the group, learn. Also give us a like, comment below. How are you doing? Let us know what is it that's going right in your business. Let us know what you think you need more help on. And let's see if maybe next time we do this, your questions or topic will be talked about. If just little housekeeping, if you're watching this on YouTube, then you're watching the replay. Thank you for participating and thank you for the support. Don't forget, give us a like, leave a comment below. Tell us where you're watching this from. Let us know the name of your agency. It'll include a link to your agency, whatever it is you want to do. And how can we help? Do you, if you have any questions or anything, we love to answer them for you guys. All right. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I think it's only about 10%, 15% of the people that watch this channel are actually subscribed. So, and share this. Share it on your own social media. Share it with people that could benefit. I apologize for my appearance today. I'm unshaven and everything else. Cold and flu season. Depending on when you're watching this, it is October 7th, the day that I'm recording this, and I'm just getting over a really bad cold. But I haven't done this in a couple of weeks, and I wanted to make sure I got a video out for you guys. Also, don't forget to check out our Home Care Owners Corner Pro, filled with AI tools and with the tools to help you with marketing, data analytics, and even a basic CRM. You can look that up at homecareownerscorner.com and check that out. There's links in the description somewhere below. I will be doing a separate video on that later in the week because we've actually added in a whole bunch of new user interface updates, and we've added a lower introductory price just so that people can get more benefit out of it. All right, that being said, enough of all of this. Let me take a look here. All right, so first, like I said, if you guys are watching, say hi, give us a thumbs up, let us know you're here. All right, Alex, thank you so much. All right, thank you for watching. Now, today's question is, let me pull it up. All right, so as a home care owner, how do you split a typical day between the different roles and functions on a percentage basis? All right, so this topic, believe it or not, this is something that a lot of people struggle with. So I'm going to break this down in a way that should make sense. All right, and I'm going to give you a breakdown of 10 different categories and how I think things should happen throughout the course of your work week. All right, so number one, you should be spending roughly 30% of your time doing management administrative tasks, okay? That means you're overseeing the daily operations, you're managing your staff, you're directly getting in the mix with anything. Payroll, scheduling, for office staff, compliance regulations, things like that, the billing part, these are the tasks that should take up about 30% of your time. It's a big chunk, probably the biggest chunk out of everything. And the reason is because there's a lot of things you need to do in your business to get your business straight. There's all, with all the bookkeeping and everything else. All right. So that's 30% right there. Next, 20% of your overall time should be built with client and caregiver relations, meaning you got to build and maintain these relationships with not only your staff, not only your field staff, but with your clients as well. All right. So that means, things like just calling up your clients and doing quality assurance, touching base with your caregivers, even if it is just like, this is something I recommend, especially for some of my larger clients that, you're dealing with, 50, 100, 150 caregivers. You're not going to sit there and call personally every single caregiver, but you may want to do like a group call to where either they dial into a teleconference line or you do a like a live Zoom webinar for your staff, or you record a message that goes out to them. This would be the least used option, and then just send it out to everybody. It's not as personal. I like something that gives a little bit more feedback. That's my preference. But it depends on the size of your organization, is how personal you want to get with it. And the same thing with your client base. You want to make sure that your clients hear from you periodically. Not every call should come from your staff. They need to see depth within your organization. Okay. So that should be 20%. The next part of it is, it's crucial. There are certain activities for business development that should be done by the owner. Okay. I don't mean that as an owner, you need to go out there and beat the streets. Okay. You're not going out there. You're not breaking into facilities. You're not trying to maintain all of these relationships to keep your business going. But 15% of your overall time should be spent on business development stuff. Okay. That means you need to go to certain networking events. You need to start looking at potentially opportunities for expansion. So if, for example, I'll give you a real life example here. If I have a solid relationship with XYZ skilled nursing facility, okay, that means that skilled nursing facility is giving us solid, anywhere between 1 and 3 solid referrals that turn into clients every week. My business is growing well. It is growing quickly. I know my marketer or my business development team, whoever it is, they have a good relationship with a couple of social workers, a couple of nurses. Now, I, as an owner, need to show my appreciation for them, come in, talk to them, either do a lunch and learn, maybe set up a meeting with them, introduce yourself as, top level management to the administrator, something to solidify the relationship. And once again, you'll hear me mention this a couple of times, build depth. There has to be depth in your business. So that this way, if somebody on your team leaves, the whole relationship doesn't just fall apart, because the facility is doing business with your company, not with that particular individual. And that's something we'll get into on another day, but building depth is very important, especially in business development. All right. Now, so far, we're up to 65% of your time, okay? So 10% of your time needs to be focused on financial management, okay? And business management, meaning your budgeting, price setting, revenue tracking, expense tracking, and now analyzing the data and creating and managing the KPIs that you're going to need in order to grow your business. Okay. So there are specific measurements, specific things that you need to measure. And you can check out our blog on the brionasgroup.com. I have a list of KPIs that you should be looking at. You can also create your own. Understand, not every business fits into a tight little package. Understand how you build your KPIs. Take a look at your goals. What is it that we are trying to accomplish? If we're trying to increase, for example, caregiver recruitment by 25% this month, then let's reverse engineer that. What needs to happen for us to get to that 25%? What specific activities need to happen for that goal to be achieved? And let's see what we got to measure in order to make sure that we're on track to achieve that. How many people are we reaching out to? How many applicants are we getting in? How many places are we posting out to? Are we doing visits on to the schools? All of these other things. So of uh, there's a number of things that you can track, and you should be tracking these things. Set again, look at your financial administrative management. Okay, that's 10% of your time. It shouldn't really take up all of your time, but there should be some time dedicated to that. Next, another 10% should be roughly staff training and development. Okay, that means you need to either directly be involved in the training of your staff or doing outreach in order to assure that your staff is being properly trained. Not just your internal staff, your office staff, but your field staff as well. So, meaning if I've got to do so many hours of mandatory in-service training to my caregivers, great. I need to make sure that is being set up. Either me directly, or I may need to make sure that someone on my team is doing this. Same thing if with my office staff. And by the way, if you're looking for great options, once again, Homecare Owners Corner Pro, we have an upgrade package that we will do monthly and quarterly training for operations, marketing, business development, and recruitment, depending on the package that you're looking for. All right, just a quick shameless plug. All right, so things like this. And here's another thing. Again, leave us a comment, let us know, give us a thumbs up, whatever it is. How are you training your staff? Let's talk about this. Again, field staff is one thing. There's mandatory requirements in many states, but what are you doing to improve the knowledge base and efficiency of your office staff? What's going on with that? Even if you're a franchisee, you guys can, I know a lot of franchises have really good support. Not some, I talk about this on my blog all the time. It's not perfect, but there's a lot of them that will have these options for training. Are you reaching out to them? If you're an independent owner, what are you doing to provide continuous training? Look, a well-educated and well-trained staff is going to give you much better outcomes. And 10% of your time as an owner needs to be assuring that your business is growing by proper development. There's a meme that goes around the internet a lot, and it really does ring true. Do not worry about what happens if you train your staff and they leave. I would be more worried about never training my staff and they stay. Not training your staff means you're not having innovative thought, you're not fostering growth, you're getting stuck into a rut. And if you are finding yourself hitting a plateau, you may want to refresh your staff's education. Okay. Next, roughly 8% of your time should be spent on staying on top of compliance and regulations. Okay. I can't tell you how many times I have dealt with agencies. Now, I'm not a compliance consultant at all. We talk about growth strategy. There's a few things I am aware of when it comes to compliance, but there's some state-specific things that I'm not as well versed in as somebody who that's their sole purpose. But that being said, I can't tell you how many times I've walked into an office or dealt with an owner that they're getting hammered on these surveys and audits because they're just out of compliance. They are not running unannounced audits. They're not bringing in consultants to do this. They're not, even if you have a nurse on your staff that understands what the compliance part of it is, what the charts need to look like, have them run unannounced audits and make sure that you're always on top of this. It's a big time waster if the state comes in, or if you get an auditor survey from one of your providers and all of a sudden you've got to make all of these corrections. I have worked with agencies over the years that have gotten hit by surprise with unannounced surveys or audits. The state comes in and they have actually lost their business. There's one particular case that I remember, and it's very sad for me because I knew the family. I worked with them for a long time. Beautiful family, great set of people. Like, they were down in San Antonio, Texas. They their business was starting to come along. They were growing. They were on a good pace for solid revenue. All of a sudden they got hit by the state. There were so many things out of compliance. There were things that they just couldn't correct fast enough. And they ended up losing their license down in Texas. And it was terrible. The impact on the family was very negative, and financially, again, it just wasn't good. All right. So stay on top of your compliance. I've had clients even recently that they've had bad surveys because COVID especially messed up a lot of agencies, and people are just dealing with that, getting back. States are coming back, keep in mind. So 8% of your time should be you being on top of your business. Here's something that I live by, and I tell this to all of my clients at some point or another. Nobody, not me, not your staff, not even half the time your own spouse, if that's applicable to you. Nobody is going to care more about your business than you. On the flip side of that, no one should ever care more about the success of your business than you. So if you are allowing your business to slip through the cracks, yes, there are people assigned to do it, but ultimately it's no one's fault but your own. That means you are not minding the shop the way you should be. Okay. So 8% on compliance. Direct marketing and outreach should be about 5%. Okay. As an owner, there are certain marketing activities that you should be participating in. That means joining things like networking groups. You have a lot of them. All right, you have Business Leaders Network, you have Success Champions, you have BNI, you have you can join your Chamber of Commerce, you can join your Home Care Association, different committees. You can get very involved and in finding ways to actively go out and grow your business, market your business, talk to referral partners directly or indirectly, get involved to an extent in the marketing process of your company. All right, it may not be your favorite thing, but hey, you know what? Going out to a dinner where that's being hosted by one of your referral partners, or to a networking event, once a month, once a quarter, whatever it is you want to do, is not going to hurt you. It's only going to benefit your business in the long term, because like I've mentioned a number of times, people want to work with companies that are stable, and you need to build depth. People need to see that it's not just one person running the whole show. So that's something there. Strategic planning, that's my favorite thing, but about 2% of your overall time needs to be involved in some sort of strategic planning. Here's the thing. Having a strategic plan gives you a target, okay? A target that you're trying to hit. Overall, let's say you're at that $1.5 to $2 million mark, and you're trying to hit that $5 to $6 million mark. You can potentially do this in 12 months if you have the right plan in place. Understand what you're trying to do, and remember the acronym. If you want to find success, you need to learn to aim. Okay? Analyze, implement, and measure. That's strategic planning right there in a nutshell. You need to figure out, analyze what your goals are, and figure out what you need to do to get there. Then you need to implement that plan and stick to it. And finally, you need to measure the outcomes with KPIs. That is all part of the art of failing quickly. If we know where we're trying to get, we know what needs to happen to get there, and we start measuring it, we can quickly eliminate what is not working. We can use those small failures to avoid major failures, all right, because we know what exactly is going on. And by avoiding major setbacks and major failures, we are bringing ourselves faster towards success. I've had a number of clients that we've been able to do this. I've been able to take clients from about 1.5, 1.8 million to 6 million in, to be on track for 6 million in less than 6 months time. It happens because once you understand where you're trying to go, you can build this strategic plan, everything becomes focusing on that. All right. So you need to spend about 2% of your time doing this, meaning you have one big strategic planning session, and then and then you're just monitoring the outcomes and making adjustments and tweaking things along the way. All right. Now, here's one that I think is crucial. All right. Emergency response and crisis management, meaning caregiver screwed up. We know your caregiver will screw up, your scheduler will screw up, your marketer will screw up. Somebody in your organization at some point or another will make a catastrophic mistake. Catastrophic, I don't mean that somebody dies. What I mean is that they spoke to a client wrong, maybe they forgot to schedule something, something slipped through the cracks, and you're going to need to get involved. Now, I've worked with many, 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 many agencies over the years, and I think as an owner, you should not spend more than 1% of your time on crisis management. If you have the right checks and balances in place, the right processes moving along in your business, you should not be putting out fires 24 hours a day. Now, many owners will spend 50 to 60% of their time doing this, putting out fires or handling client issues or, that emergency response mindset. I think that with the proper, and not just think, I know from having implemented this, with proper procedures in place and proper ways to do things and SOPs and all these other big strategic changes, your time should be no more than 1% dealing with this type of emergency. There's things you need to do, make sure that you have the right order of how things get escalated. And you should only get involved or have to get involved as a last resort. Okay. And finally, the last 9% of your time, you need to make sure you're avoiding burnout. Okay. So you need to schedule some personal time. Make sure that lunch is lunch. Okay. Go out for a walk once in a while during the workday. Get your mind away from the hustle and bustle and that constant stress of this business. You have to do this. Listen, it's crucial for your mindset to be able to separate yourself even a little bit from your business. The biggest cause of failure, besides the normal ones that we all know about, we all know that, poor capitalization, not understanding, lack of training, all of this stuff comes into play. But it all leads down the same road that is going to ultimately make you want to give up. All right. So one of the worst things that can happen is burnout. So what is burnout? I'm sure everybody's heard it and everybody's like, well, they defined it their own way. And I'm going to give you the simplest definition for burnout. It's when your business when you walk into your business and you start looking at it like it's a job, where you dread Monday morning, where you dread coming in to do the things that need to do, when you can't stand to even think about going into the office. That is burnout. And if you want to avoid burnout, you have to find that personal time. You have to make sure all these other things are in place so that you can relax and enjoy running your business. Not everything about your business is going to be fun. You don't want to sit there and intentionally avoid certain tasks because, as I said earlier, it is your business. No one should ever care more about your business than you. Okay. So that is how you should run your business by percentage. It's 100% of your time could be broken down into these 10 basic categories: management and administration, client caregiver relations, business development, financial management, staff training and development, sorry, compliance and regulations, marketing and outreach, strategic planning, emergency response and crisis management, and personal time. All right. So that's how you break down your time to have a successful business that will bring you satisfaction and allow you to have the right things in place. If you have a good management structure in place, okay, I promise you, your business will run a lot smoother. I have clients that run lean teams, okay, meaning they only have, they're running $3, $4, $5 million agencies with only about 4 or 5 total internal staff in their office. And they, as an owner, only work about 10, 15 hours a week because they understand how things need to be broken down. They understand, how much effort is actually needed to put into their business. They understand that they need a little bit of mental time away, even if it's a few minutes, but that lets them get out there and spend that time, going out and handling the things that they need to. A little bit of the market, a little bit of the business growth, and they're spending minimal amounts of time putting out fires because their business runs smoothly. And they are no longer an employee chained to the desk in their own business. They are overall a business owner, okay? They are able to spend their time wisely. They are able to manage how things are done properly. And if you're going to spend the time in your business, there's a big difference between 100% of your time in the business being 80 or 90 hours a week versus being 15 to 20 hours a week, 10 hours a week, whatever it is, the breakdown is still the same. So ask yourself, what systems do I have in place? Not only what systems do I have in place, but how am I managing those systems in order to maximize my time and grow my business effectively? So thank you for watching. Once again, check out our Home Care Owners Corner Pro. There'll be links somewhere below. And don't forget, give us a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching the replay, and share this. There's a lot of good information here. Somebody's bound to need it and can benefit from it. All right. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. And just remember, leave us a comment somewhere, whether you're watching the replay on YouTube, on LinkedIn, wherever it is, on Facebook. Leave us a comment, drop your questions, and we go through this. And as soon as we see something that's good, that we think could benefit the community, we'll come back and do another video to get you on the right track to growing your business. This is Home Care Owners Corner YouTube channel, and thanks for watching.